Santo Padre, segnato dalla sofferenza, si è affacciato ancora una volta alla finestra del Palazzo Apostolico ed un'ultima volta ha dato la benedizione Urbi et Orbi. Possiamo essere sicuri che il nostro amato Papa sta adesso alla finestra della casa del Padre, ci vede e ci benedice.
My initial thoughts about the process of beatification and now the occasion of the beatification of the Pope is to think back to the funeral in the Piazza San Pietro in Rome and hearing everyone chanting, hundreds of thousands of people chanting Santo Subito. I think the judgment of the world was, we know this man is a saint. And I think one of the things we need to reflect upon the life of John Paul II is the fact that he knew how to be a leader, and he knew how to evangelize, and he knew how to do this in public, because he had to do it in Poland when Poland had to preserve and strengthen and grow Christianity under communist domination. So he understood that a leader in the church has to be public. He has to reach out, and he has to constantly be thinking about the future, evangelizing for the future. And this, I think, is why he's felt such a strong closeness with the Knights of Columbus. He understood the Knights of Columbus could be in the center of the new evangelization.
$1,300,000 people. That is a nation. you could found a state. A state. A nation. You could also have the representatives in the United Nations.
Throughout the pontificate of John Paul II, we established a deepening relationship with him, with so many of his projects, whether it was the restoration of the facade of St. Peter's, helping to promote the idea of the common Christian roots of Europe to overcome the separation of the Iron Curtain, the John Paul II Institute for Studies on Marriage and Family. In so many ways, the Knights of Columbus participated as an organization in the pastoral initiatives of Pope John Paul II.
It is a pleasure to extend cordial greetings to the Knights of Columbus. Who is not aware of your outstanding history of charitable endeavors carried out in fruitful and fraternal collaboration? Continue to stand up for the dignity and value of all human life. Persevere in your support for the Christian family. Authentic witness to the gospel is marked by an unwavering hope in the face of all difficulties, a hope based upon the power and mercy of God.
The Knights of Columbus became the first lay organization ever to co-sponsor a papal mass in the United States when we cooperated with the Diocese of Brooklyn for the Pope's visit to the United States and his mass there. A tremendous day for us, a tremendous day for the Church. One of the great things about Pope John Paul II is his authenticity. And I think this is one of his great appeals to young adults, to young Catholics. They saw in him somebody who was authentically living the gospel.
The gospel must not be kept hidden because of fear, because of indifference. It was never meant to be hidden away in private.
We saw a pontiff who used every opportunity, every dimension that he could think of to express the truth of the gospel, to witness to the reality of Jesus Christ in his life. And so whether he's a playwright or a poet or a philosopher or writing encyclicals or writing books or holding World Youth Day or meeting with the sick or traveling to virtually every country in the world, he is using every opportunity to make this witness. And so we see in his life as well the witness of a vigorous young pontiff who's skiing, who's mountain climbing, who seems unstoppable. And then at the end of his life, we see someone who is virtually, you might say, disintegrating in front of our eyes. He's using all of these occasions to make a really strong, authentic witness to the faith. Of course, so many people's initial thoughts about the process of beatification is to think back on all the accomplishments of his pontificate, the fall of communism, the many trips to countries around the world, promoting democracy in Latin America, promoting peace in the Middle East, reconciliation with Muslims and Christians and Jews. But what beatification is about is the personal holiness, the sanctity of the person to be beatified, not the many accomplishments he may have done. It's not a scorecard in that sense. And I think if we reflect upon the holiness of his life, what it was that drove John Paul II forward. If we look at his book, Gift and Mystery, in which he discussed his life as a priest, he says what the priest is called to do every day is to bring the now of Jesus Christ into his own life daily. And that's what we see in John Paul II. That's what he did so well. And that's why he's being beatified.